All right, glad to have you back. Newspaper review this morning. We'll have a guest in the house who's going to be helping us with the papers this morning. I'm talking about Engineer Anthony Aniebwe, a public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and Anambra can come.
All right, let's kickstart with the stories making the headlines on our ABS website.
3,000 PVCs yet 300,000 PVCs yet to be collected in Anambra INEC. Obiano allowed security agencies in Anambra for crime-free Yuletide. Fire outbreak, 3 children die in Obosi. Anambra Police Command arrest 100 suspected cultists. So these are the stories making the headlines. I think we should start with the PVCs that are yet to be collected, 300,000. And yet we are saying that we are ready for the election.
First of all, I would like to even to commend the Anambrarians, because was it yesterday, the INEC boss said that Anambra State topped the list of those that had a tremendous increase in registered political, for registration of voters from 1.8 million to about 2.8 million. It's the highest.
That's high. I
even said that tried to bring to pair, or rather raise the Southeast registered voters. Be that as it may, the idea that 300,000 voters card is yet to be collected is too bad. Too bad in the sense that we know how much sensitization that we did. Personally, some of the organizations I belong to, we even got to the INEC offices and tried to make sure that we monitor how people collect that PVC. We also did a lot of sensitization, telling people to go and collect their PVC. If, after all this said and done, about 300,000 is yet to be collected, it's still very, very bad, because we want everybody that's registered to collect his PVC and be ready to vote. I don't know whether the collection is still ongoing. Yes. If it is still ongoing, we are still calling on Anambrarians to please go and collect your PVC.
INEC said that yes. From next week Wednesday they will go back to ward level.
To ward level, yes, I think.
All right, let's quickly move on for once at a time. See the number for crime-free Yuletide.
In fact, I want to also thank the security agencies and the Anambra State government for that singular action, because I want to tell you that Anambra State actually experienced a kind of very quiet Yuletide period in terms of insecurity. It wasn't as it used to be those old days when everywhere you hear killing and the shooting and the armed robbery. It's really something to commend the government and all the paraphernalia they work with is a very good one for Anambra. And I'm sure beyond Anambra, I was listening to other states, and I know there's something really to be happy about.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move over to our first paper today, the Daily Sun. Banner headline: Federal government's failure to meet demands as to bans members from election duties, as NLC insists government's technical panel not relevant to minimum wage deal. APC governors absent at Buhari campaign council meeting. Why they did not attend Oshimole. Abia Guber Oshibajo Oshimole to attend August campaign flag off in Umuahia. 1 dies, many injured as train derails in Lagos. Showdown looms in State Assembly over 2019 budget. UN withdraws 268 workers from Borno over Boko Haram attacks. Bende traditional rulers endorse Carlo for Senate. Let's look at the big story. FG's failure to meet demands as to barring their members from election duties.
And that's a very bad one. Very bad one, because I know in an election like we are the one we are going to have in a fortnight or thereabout, the university always supply the big wigs that both the returning officers and the rest of them, presiding officers at the polling booths. Now, if based on this chemistry that's between the ASU and the federal government, the university by its members from the, is going to affect the election. My own my own contribution on issue concerning labor and workers is that government must have to understand that whoever pays peanuts will always must get monkeys to work for it, because it is monkey that collect peanuts. What's really happening in our university is that something must have to be done. This issue of ASU every year, every turn of event, ASU.
It should change and
For this year onwards, let's change. Let's find a way to meet some of these demands halfway. In fact, let the two of them try to agree. It's too much. Every time our children are beginning to see ASU strike as a tradition. If there is no ASU strike, then something is wrong somewhere.
All right, let's move on to our next papers this morning. The Daily Times stories making the headlines on the Daily Times this morning. We have made progress without wood. Teleologies Holdings, 9 Mobile, saying that says telecom firm in top shape, gives insight into source of friction with Wood and Teleology Holdings. $8.1 billion in fractions. Finally, MTN, CBN settle out of court. February pool, we never endorsed Atiku for president, Ohanes Ndibo insist. Violence, caution your men now. PDP tells APC place. Troops kill over 80 terrorists, reclaim Baga Navy base. Why governors were not part of APC inaugural campaign meeting. Coming from Oshomole. Well, let's quickly look at the February poll. We never endorsed Atiku for president. Ohanes Ndibo insists.
Well, it is the duty of Ohanese to tell us what they did. If they did not endorse Atiku, it's left for them. They are telling me they didn't endorse Atiku. And I don't even know why Ohanese should go about endorsing any candidate. Okay. You understand? The Ohanese should be neutral, call people to come and vote according to their choice of candidates. So I want to go with them that they didn't endorse anybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, quickly, let's look at the big story. We have made progress with our Wood Teleology Holdings. 9 Mobile says that telecom firm in top shape.
Well, the telecom business is a very big business. The issue of what I can call conflicts on this business line, the 9 Mobile is seen that they are moving ahead.
Well, let's also quickly look at this story before we go to the next papers. The APC governors not being part of the inaugural meeting coming from Oshomole. What do you think could be the reason? Because the election is coming closer.
Maybe there is something they didn't tell us that's happening inside there, because the governors ought to be at the flag off. They should be at yes.
Another meeting.
Yes. But whatever makes them go to another must be that probably something is really on the yes, because they ought to be there.
All right, let's go over to the Nation newspaper. Banner headline says, Atiku, not our candidate, says Ohaneze. Endorsement of ex-VP by Nwabeze Nwosu Udenwa Abaribe nullified. Can months as Attila Day dies at 76. 100 billion naira Sukuk fund released for 20 road projects. Middle belt leaders adopt PT candidate Olawepo Hashim. All set for the Massa Awards. And down there you see Buhari to Tinubu, others have confidence you can deliver. Well, okay, they are still saying why governors were absent by Oshomole. I think anybody that wants to know more about that story should read the papers and know about that. And there you see the picture of train that derailed in Lagos.
Yes, in Lagos. Let's talk about the train that derailed in Lagos. One died, many injured.
That one is a bad one. This early 2019. I believe it has to do with technical errors, technical mistakes. What train is not a small mobile equipment, yes, transport system. So for it to have derailed, somebody must have misdirected the track.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, we just lost that. All right, let's move on to our next papers this morning. The Punch newspapers, stories making the headlines on the Punch newspapers this morning. Strike continues until federal government implements offers. That's coming from ASU. On top of that story, $8.1 billion repatriation. CBN, MTN settle out of court. Minimum wage reduce reckless expenses. Pay 30,000 naira. NLC tells governors. Ohaneze denies endorsing a takeover president. Votes buying could mar Nigeria's election. That's coming from the U.S. One passenger dies, dozens injured as trail derail in Lagos. Board confirms Technology Holdings withdrawal from 9 Mobile. Military shouldn't be left alone to fight Boko Haram. Shetima. Ogun government, Kashamo directs supporters to back Adebutu. Osibaja governors pay tributes as Ondo buries fashion. Residents decry illegal miners, kidnappers' activities in Ijesha land. INEC blames politicians for inconclusive polls. Well, a lot of stories are really making a headline.
This one is
stuff up there.
Yes,
reduce reckless expenses and pay 30,000.
Actually, one must have to understand that somebody said the wealth of the world is enough to go around if we reduce our selfishness. I think what really is the problem, why government is worried about payment of minimum wage, is reckless spending. If you know your priority, place your priority right, you have to pay your workers first. Then the rest will follow because it is the workers' interest. In fact, it's the interest of Nigerians that brought in the government in the first place. So, government should be able to plan its spending. Pay the workers. 30,000 is not too much for a worker. If you pay the workers, with all what we hear about government spending, sometimes there are some frivolities that shouldn't be there. You get the point. So, I agree with NLC that government should reduce some frivolous spending and pay workers. Then I want to go to both INEC and the U.S. Food buying issue. Because somebody was saying something about what is discovered as a dull campaign structure that is happening now. That is, didn't see the firebrand campaigning that we used to see in election. Yeah. And conclusively, the discussants agreed that most of these politicians are just waiting to buy the voters. They are just compiling money, they are piling money they wish to buy. They are not even interested in whether they convince you or not, whether you are accepting them or not.
They just want to give
They just want to use the money to buy the vote. And that is what the American envoy have said. So if our politicians go on thinking that the best thing is to buy the voters and not to really tell the voters what they are going to do for them, it's really going to spell doom for our politics. Because at the end of the day, you can buy the vote, you go there and do whatever you like. But to me, it's not the ultimate thing. People should stop collecting money to vote.
I mean, the electorate.
Electorate should stop collecting money from anybody to vote for that person because you are selling your future, you are selling the future of your children. So both the electorate and the politicians, stop this issue of using money. Money politics is too much. It's too much, and that makes the right people not to be in the field.
All right.
And then on this issue of the INEC and its position, let them not start telling us, giving us preparing room for schools.
Okay.
Because what that means is that by telling us about inconclusive and before you know it now becomes what they.
No. All right, let's hold it there and move on to the last papers, the Guardian newspapers. Our story is making the headline.
APC governors absent from Buhari's campaign council meeting. Southeast bigwigs mixed talks on president's re-election. Party downplays non-attendance by chieftains. JAMB warns CBT centers against taking above 700 naira service charges. Federal government presents second 100 billion sukuk process for road projects. 10 feared killed in Kogi communal crisis. Train derails in Lagos and kills 1. China to back Nigeria's anti-insurgency battle with 2 billion naira. Military neutralizes dozens of insurgents. Shetima attacks Legion on Boko Haram fight. All right, let's look at this 100 billion naira released by the federal government for road projects.
Is it because of the election? Because the issue of releasing 100 billion, this all through. In fact, the nearest one here is Enugu Expressway here, which has been on that track for a very long time, years, and the whole of the 3 years the government had been in power, or even before that, not much has been done on that road, and we are releasing 100 billion. Because we have election in 3 weeks' time. I don't know. I want to congratulate them for releasing the money at all. Whether late or delayed, the money, let it be used. Let them start using them now.
All right. Okay. I wanted us to look at China to back Nigeria's anti-insurgency battle.
And you can hear when Nigeria is saying that it's not going to fight the insurgency, it's not capable of fighting the insurgency alone. It's good that, but one thing is that I know that at the onset of the previous government, there was a meeting, what they call a multilateral meeting, that was held to fight the Boko Haram, because it's becoming a multinational concern where Chad, Niger, Nigeria, and the rest of the countries in that area have been involved. In which case, it is no longer an internal affair of Nigeria. It's becoming a international issue. So China is also, China has already been having interest in Africa. So this is an opportunity for her to come in and then put in something to make it look like they are interested in our welfare. Whether they are interested in our welfare or not.
Or they want to invest in our land.
Thank you very much. Well, this is the much we have on Newspaper Review this morning. And well, if you really want to know more, read more about the stories, go out and get the various papers and get informed. And I want to say a very big thank you to Engineer Anthony Aniebwe, a public affairs analyst. Many thanks for helping us out this morning.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming.
We're still here, Dimma.
We're still here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back because we have issues we need to talk about.